Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Taurus, tonight we have the Fool. Which, listen, a wonderful card to get, okay? I like this card because it reminds us not to take things so dang seriously. Sometimes we have to just kind of depart from that stuffiness, that monotony, that tedium that we get trapped in, and let loose just a little bit, right? Hopefully that's what the tea leaves are going to tell us as well. All right. And let's go ahead. We're going to take a look. We're going to see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel. Shout it out in the comment section. Now, we have the same animal here twice. Look, it looks like a cat. You can see the face. Look at the cute little face. Maybe it's a dog. It might be a dog. But this one looks like a cat. So we're going to go with cat. You can see the face here, the body, the tail. Now you look over here, we have the same one. Okay? Yeah, immediately to me, this reads as two very independent people, two individuals, two people that fully embody their own autonomy, right? You're out here in the world doing things your own way, living how you want to live. There is no compromise for a Taurus, right? When it comes to those fundamental parts of being, you are going to be whatever you are. And as you change and evolve and shift and the many different things and people that you will be, you always embrace it. Even if maybe, yeah, it's a little difficult. Sometimes we go through parts of our life where, yeah, we don't necessarily feel like we are living the right way, or we are doing the things that maybe, you know, we were put on this earth to do. But then we find a way, right, to kind of shift out. And that's what I've always loved about Taurus people, is that you are so uniquely yourselves. So I see this and I look and I think, yeah, there seems to be this kind of coming together of somebody with a very similar energy. Maybe this is another Taurus. Now that would be interesting. Two Taurus people dating, in a relationship, married. Now, if you are a Taurus, especially a solar Taurus, and you have dated or married somebody who is also a solar Taurus, or, you know, has a prominent Taurus placement, that is ascendant or lunar, maybe Venus, let me know. How does that relationship work? Has it been good? Was it a disaster? Were you two like very headstrong and you're always like, you know, trying to have it your way? That's what I imagine in my head. I was married to a Taurus when I was younger. He did pass away when I was around 30. But yes, I remember what it's like to talk a Taurus into doing something your way. It's almost impossible. But that's something that is so lovable, right? It really is. And so I see this and I feel like, yeah, there is a sense of kind of, there's this old saying, game, recognize game, right? I see in you what I know in myself, right? I'm a powerful, creative, talented, loving, kind, whatever being, right? And I see that in this person. So game, recognize game. And there's really no other way, right, for a Taurus. Now, your person might not be a Taurus, but they have similar energy to you, right? Now, they might be on their whole other, like a whole other tip, like they're just into different things. Maybe, you know, you're more of a sporty person. You like to be outside. You like to move your body a lot. You stay busy. And maybe you find somebody you really, really relate to, and this is a person who maybe likes to be by the house more often. You know, they're in there playing games and crafting and whatever, but that doesn't matter. That you kind of have different ideas of, you know, what's fun or what's interesting or what you like to spend your time with, because you're individuals. And you give each other the space to do the things that you want to do. And that's why I look at this and I feel like it is a very blessed union. Okay. Now, I might be totally off base here where this is not romantic. Maybe this is like an adult child, right? You have a child who you're very close with. They get their independent spirit very much from you, right? And that's why you get along so well, because you kind of do your own thing, right? And you're happy being around each other, sharing, spending time, but you don't have to be fully like, you know, codependent to that level where we have to do every single thing together, right? That can be kind of difficult, you know? I don't know. I'm a pretty codependent person myself, so I don't necessarily think it's a terrible thing when you have a partner you do like basically all the things with. I mean, my husband and I, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpentero, we both work together, we live together, we raise a child together, we have a lot of common interests. But listen, there always has to be those little spaces in every relationship where you can have a little bit of a private world, right? And that you can kind of, you know, navigate your existence without being witnessed by somebody. We all deserve that. And I think that's something that you really prioritize in your relationship. So this one seems very blessed. Now we have a heart up here, okay? It also has the arrow through it. You can see kind of on either side here. So that's what leads me to believe this is maybe a romantic connection. I see this heating up in the next period of time here. And I think that's why you're facing each other, you're looking at each other, you are walking towards each other. So listen, we are in the northern hemisphere going into what we love to call cuffing season. And this is like, this ages me. This is an old thing. But that was the, right? You go into the colder months and people start to couple up, right? You want to slow down a little bit. You want to hang out with the same person more often. Maybe you're feeling a little more sentimental. You're ready to settle down. Hey, maybe we can try living together. Maybe it's time we get married. Maybe, you know, our relationship has been waning a little bit, right? We don't have a lot of time to be together. When we do have time, we're kind of tired, maybe cranky, maybe, you know, whatever. And here is the part of the year where, yeah, let's kind of slow down. Let's spend some more time kind of talking and growing and laughing and enjoying, but also remaining in that individual state, right? Having your autonomy, having space for your own, you know, wants and desires, the things that you like to do, your hobbies and so on. But I see this really heating up. I see you spending a lot more time together and things really feeling like they're working out. I really feel like this is the time where it's really working out. Now, we have two people in an embrace right there. And up here, I'm just trying to see. And I just keep seeing the name. It's not the whole Susan, but to me it says Susan or Suze. Something like this. S-U-Z, maybe. But if that means anything to you, if you know a Susan or, yeah, like a Suze, or maybe it is Sue, something like this, okay? So that name's coming through. We also have birds that are migrating. We have a person pointing. What are they pointing at? Here's the person pointing. Oops. And here are the birds migrating. You can see right in here. And it does. It looks like TNT. Like in a cartoon, right? You can see right in here. A little... And that's what it makes me think of. Like, this is like getting kind of spicy, like a little firecracker. And I know not everybody loves the readings that are about love and coupling and you know, finding a mate and all that. You know, and I get that 100%. It's not, I probably never watch readings for romantic advice. Or romantic fortune type of stuff. But sometimes, you know, you just happen to watch one and you're thinking, oh, this isn't for me. And then all of a sudden, this person shows up in your life. Again, I don't want to talk about my husband and I a lot, but, you know, sometimes I do have to share. You know, when I met my husband, I was done. Did not want to hear about love. Didn't want to hear about family. Just wanted to do my thing. I had been living alone for years. I was widowed at a very young age. I had my cats. I was fully down with cat life. Old lady cat life. That was me. I was in it. And then, yeah, I met my husband. And it took some time, right? It took some time. I knew immediately that I loved him. I knew immediately that I wanted to be with him. But I made it, you know, linger. We had to linger for a while. We had to get to know each other. It took a couple years. But, you know, sometimes it just comes out of nowhere. The other thing, having a child. I didn't think I could have a child. My husband didn't know if he could, you know. So, and we were older. And we thought, well, we'll just, you know, we'll be two... you know, kind of nerds. We'll just, you know, have a happy little life together. We'll have our little animals and all that. And next thing you know, it just happens like that sometimes. That's just life. You never know. You never know what's going to go. So I do see this. I feel like there is just this immense attraction, fun. It feels fun. I feel like there's laughing and giggling and, oh, I'm excited to see them. I can't wait to see them again. Their name goes green on, you know, I don't know, like Messenger or something. And you think, oh my goodness. There they are. And then immediately you see the little texting bubbles and you're like, okay. Maybe they feel the same about me too, you know? And so I do. I feel you in this kind of giddy, fun place. Okay? Now, we are going to ask the Oracle because I'm interested in like what else? Where else can we put this energy? Here's the thing that I fully believe about life. Not even just superstitiously, but I fully believe this. Like when we get into a place where we're feeling intense emotions, it is so important that we put it into other places, right? Like I've said this before in here, when, you know, often when we're going through really hard times, especially like if we're very depressive or, you know, of course, if there's like an acute thing happening like psychosis or whatever, yeah, we have to go to the therapist. We have to go to, you know, a mental health professional. Hopefully, if you have that option, if you have the privilege to have, you know, access to that kind of care. But we do need some kind of support. But I also believe when we are in the best moods of our life, when we are motivated, inspired, when we are feeling pretty good about things, it is a wonderful time to work on some of those harder, you know, the stuff. We all have the stuff, right? And it's like usually put into like a pot and we put it in the pantry and we shut it away. Childhood hardships, traumas, things that, you know, were said to us, happened, that we witnessed, you know, whatever. Our coping mechanisms that maybe we don't like, you know? We all have them. Reactions that we have that, you know, maybe we don't, I don't know, feel good about how we react to things. You know, for me, here's a big one. Okay, and this is actually, I've never said this out loud, but for me, because I grew up in a household that had addiction, alcoholism, and some other substances, my family was quite volatile. And where most people looked forward to holidays, very excited about them, right? And I did. I was excited about holidays as well. And I'm glad that I still am. But in my household, holidays almost always meant that there was going to be somebody who drank too much. There was going to be an argument. There was going to be, you know, maybe even more than an argument. It was always kind of like holding your breath, waiting for something bad to happen. Or maybe it was that, you know, people were trying to like stay sober during the holidays and then they were angry because they couldn't drink or, you know, whatever. And it became kind of like this thing where every holiday you knew something was about to happen, pop off, right? And so as I got older, I always thought, I don't want to be that person that ruins holidays. I don't want to be that person that is in a bad mood. I don't want to, you know, make everybody else feel like, you know, poo during whatever things going on. I just want to, you know, kind of suck it up and do the thing, facilitate the merriment and enjoy. Not only my, you know, I want everybody else to enjoy, but I also want to try to enjoy just a little bit. You know, even just a tad would make me happy. And sometimes I can feel myself sinking into that dark place where I am grumpy, where everything else could go right, but like, you know, oh, we forgot to bring this thing to the potluck, or oh, you know, these gifts didn't get wrapped, we forgot about these ones, and I'll just like lose it. I'll cry, I'll get in a bad mood, you know, and I have to stop myself and say, Lenor, get it together. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Do not descend. Because it is. It is an old coping mechanism / reaction. Reaction to this event, this thing, this, you know, anticipation for something that's supposed to be fun, supposed to be enjoyable. It is a ritual after all. And so when we are in these places where we're in love and things are going well and you know, we're feeling pretty invincible, right? I feel like these are the times where we can stop and look at some of this other stuff. Now, is it that we can always like, I know what happens to me around the holidays. I know how stressed out and intolerable I can start to be, right? So what am I going to do about it? I need to formulate these plans when I'm feeling pretty good. Because I'll tell you what, if I'm depressed and I'm thinking like, okay, the holidays are coming up and I better get it together. I better not act that way. I always ruin everything, don't I? Because you go down the spiral of, yeah, kind of feeling sorry for yourself or blaming yourself or, oh, I can never change anything about myself. Well, yes, you can. Absolutely. So do it when you are feeling better about life. Confront some of these things when you are in love, when you do have this kind of, you know, wind beneath your wings, right? And that's just my 2 cents about really making use of these different places that we find ourselves emotionally, okay? Now, I want to look at this. I want to see, we have the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, okay? And I am going to pick 3. I want to know just what's going to be going on this next period of time here. Let me see. We got love. We have the opportunity to do some deep work. We also have, it looks like fortune. All right. Ooh, seduction. Yes. Not mad about that. Restlessness. Okay, so for me, it does. It feels like you're just in love. You are. You're in that full mode. You are uninhibited by this love drug that you are fully on. And I do. I think that it lends itself to the stream of good fortune to be kind of flowing through your life. And yes, I mean, let's do 2 more. I end up doing so many of these when I get going on them. I like how they really do kind of tell a whole story. I was kind of questioning doing oracle cards in this way, but I do like it. Okay, so we have decision, status, innovation. So this also, to me, not only is there fortune, kind of a sensuality, love, but I do feel like in this entanglement that you find yourself, that there is a partnership of some kind. I see you kind of really progressing in whatever field you're in. Whatever your career or your hobbies, or, you know, maybe you're part of like a subculture, but you're gaining status off of your involvement. And I think that in this good mood that you're in this lovey mood, yeah, you're making decisions that are leading towards that fortune, but also status. Also, a very innovative spirit. Okay, so I see you creating as well. You know, going out there, maybe having some different ideas. Maybe you're on some kind of like committee. Maybe you're in a band. Maybe, you know, you have a little business together with somebody or a group of people. I can see you really coming up with some just ideas that you maybe never even like considered going in that direction. But this might be the thing that really kind of brings in that money. Okay. Now we're going to look over here. We have, it looks like we have the Emperor. You can see kind of, it looks like a person sitting, pointing again. Okay. We have an axe up there. And it looks like the head of maybe like a cow or some ornate looking, well, yeah, Taurus head. Now we have a person dancing and we have two people following. Ooh. And we have, it looks like a Libra. Okay, so you have a Libra person who almost feels like maybe they're in love with you. Maybe this is an ex because of the axe, trying to cut that thing off. Now, maybe this is still lingering. Maybe this is still, the energy's still around. Maybe you're still talking to them. And I don't know exactly, but I can see that this is maybe part of that decision that you have to make. Now, we have that Emperor, so I feel like it is. It's kind of like you got to really grow up here. You got to look at this from a real practical place, okay? Yes, follow your emotions, your intuitions, but you also have to look at all of the other stuff. Money, bills, housing. Do you have kids together? You know, whatever it is. Do not do not forsake all of the work you've done in your life, right? To go after love. Now, that is a wonderful, maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe it is the way. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But have your ducks in a row. That's basically, yes. And the Emperor we know has to make tough decisions sometimes. Even when you want to do something, you really want to do it, right? You have to consider what are going to be some of the consequences if this is something that's going to affect your life and the people around you. Okay? But I do feel like you're like on air. You're dancing around. I could see you as like a happy ballerina, kind of like twirling around in the clouds. Everything feels really pretty good right now. But I do feel like there's a sense of chase as well. So, yeah, that ex I could see really, really does not want to let you go. And I'm not completely convinced that you want to let them go either. But I do think that it's worth considering, how do you feel now? You know, that there is at least some space from them. Okay. Let's go ahead. We're going to look at our Cincy Child affirmation cards. And I'm just going to flip through. We're going to stop where it feels right. It says, I embrace differences and flow. And I embrace differences and the flow of life. I embrace differences and the flow of life. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, last night, my husband and I, Paul, I'll just call him Paul. He does have a name. We were, up watching TV and stuff, and I went out to the kitchen and I was coming back and I looked out the window and I saw like, a big red thing in the sky, and I thought, what the heck is that? And then I looked closer and I noticed, oh, it's the moon. It was bright red. It looked like an orange, like a slice of orange in the sky. And I was tripped out. I mean, of course I've seen when the moon is red, but this one, I don't know. I hollered to my husband. I said, come out here, babe, come here, come out here. He said, oh, I just got in bed. Babe, what is it? And I said, yeah, come out here. You have to come see. So we got up. And then we stood there and looked at it for probably 20 minutes or so. It just was enchanting. Absolutely. It was just so beautiful. And it does. And we were talking about, what do you think this means? What is this? You know, and I said, I already know. It's the mother. It's the mother. It's the mother. I've had this real dark mother energy. She is transformative. But you know what? She doesn't sugarcoat things. It's not, you know. There is a everlasting, unconditional love. But this is the mother that, you know, builds and destroys. This is the mother that will eat demons for her family to keep them safe, right? She will do what she has to do. And I told him, I said, yep, that's the mother. That's the energy. We're going right into it. She is among us. She is of us. She is here. She is here. She is here. So we had better honor her. Absolutely. Say our prayers, say our devotions, you know, affirmations, and yeah, and leave something out for her, of course, leave a little offering. So anyways, Taurus, I want to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such a pleasure. It is. It's the ultimate pleasure. And so if you would subscribe, if you haven't, or think about subscribing, it is free. Also, liking the video helps the channel a lot. And if you want to leave a comment, I want to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel. Shout it out in the comment section. Other than that, again, I want to tell you I love you. We'll talk again in just a few days. Good night, good night, good night.